Good morning, guys. All of you, good morning. Yes. So, shall we start our session? So, guys, in the last session, we discussed about the REST API related all general terms, guys. Okay, na? So, what is API? We completed. What is API? Okay. So, next, what is the web API? These all are same kind of answers only. So, what is the REST API? Okay. So, next, what is a web service? Web service, guys. Web services. So what is web service or web services? Web APIs, web services, all are same. Okay. So next, partner application. Partner application. Next, provider application. Provider application. Next, consumer application. Consumer application. Okay, guys. So these all things we discussed, and also HTTP methods. We discussed HTTP methods. What are the HTTP methods available here? What HTTP methods available? So we have the get HTTP method, and we have the post, and we have the put for update, and we have the delete for delete. Okay. So if you want to create the data, post method. If you want to getting data, get method. Updating purpose, put method. Deleting purpose, delete method. These all regularly we are going to use in our REST API. Okay. So as a programming developer, by using the HTTP methods, we are going to be communicating to database via using these methods. Using these methods, we are going to be interacted with the database via the model. Okay. So if you are a database developer, directly by using the database SQL CRUD commands, you can use and you can communicate to database. You can communicate to your database. Okay, na? Yeah. So now this HTTP method later regularly we are going to use in our programming. Wait. So what are the CRUD operations there in the database? What CRUD operations we are doing means creating, updating, reading, deleting. Okay. So for those operations purpose, database commands also there. Select command, insert command, update command, delete command to performing all database CRUD operations. Okay. So remember, guys, that one. So here again, what is API? If anybody is asking, what you are going to tell? API. So API stands for application programming interface. So using the APIs, we are going to be communicating from one application to another application. This is application 1, this is application 2, guys. So if you want to make the app-to-app communication, we required one mediator. We required one mediator. That mediator is nothing but, so that mediator is nothing but API. That mediator is nothing but API. Via the API, we are going to be communicating. Via the API, we are going to be communicating. Okay, na? So this is the web API, guys. So what is web API? Almost these all are same kind of answers only. What is web API means? For example, if you are taking as your application 1 is a web application, your application 1 is a web application, then this web application purpose developed APIs we are calling the web APIs. Okay. So we have the multiple types of applications, guys. Web applications and static applications. Majorly two types: web applications and static applications. So static applications means the applications which are running without internet, the applications which are working without internet are called static applications. Okay, so nowadays all people are using the smart mobiles. Smart mobiles. In our mobile, hundreds of apps we are installing, guys. Some are coming by default, some are we are installing. Am I right? So out of these all apps, guys, regularly we are using these all applications in our mobile. What we have. So these all applications dividing like two types. One is static application. Another one is web application. So what are the static application example? What are the static example? Static apps. So contact page, messages, okay, alarm, guys, calendar, okay na? So these all things without internet working, as anytime we can use it. Okay, so these applications we are calling the static applications, and the applications which we are executing, or the applications which we are working with internet only, the applications which are able to work with only internet, then those applications we are calling the web applications. Okay, so for example, YouTube. Without internet, YouTube we are unable to use. Facebook, Gmail, WhatsApp, these all things, guys. Okay na? So Phone Pay, Google Pay, Paytm, these all are web applications only. So for the web application purpose, if you are developing any API, then those APIs we are calling the web APIs. Got it? So REST APIs, REST APIs, these also APIs only. So API, web API, REST API, all are URLs only, guys. Nothing but URLs only. Universal Resource Locator. Okay. For every resource, one locator, one URL is there, guys. In entire world, for every resource, one URL is there. Using that URL, we are going to be accessing that particular resource. Okay. So now REST API. REST stands for representational state transfer, guys. Representational state transfer. So REST is an architectural style, means it is providing some rules and regulations. Nothing but REST providing the some principles or guidelines to developing the APIs. So by following the REST principles or guidelines, if we are developing the any API, then those API, then that API we are calling the REST API. Okay, simply using the REST principles, if we are developing any API, then those APIs we are calling the REST APIs. Okay, so next, web services, guys. This is also same, only term changing. In interview, any question they may ask, you need to draw like this one diagram and you can explain, guys. Okay, so service, guys, this application one providing some services, guys. Application one providing some services to get the data, to update the data, to delete the data, like that. Okay, so the application which is providing the services, okay, so I mean every some applications providing the services. So application one I'm considering like a web application. Okay, so the web application providing services we are calling web services. Okay na? Web application providing the services we are calling the web services. So web services providing this application one and consuming by application two. That's why application one we are calling the provider application, guys. The application which is providing the services to the other application, then that application we are calling the provider application, and the application which is utilizing the services provided by other application, then that application we are calling the consumer application. Okay na? Next, partner means application one point of view, application two is the partner, and application two point of view, application one is the partner. Okay, so each other partners, guys. And next, HTTP methods. From the application one, whenever we are sending the request, how this application one sending the request to application two only, why not other application? Okay, application one target is interacted with application two. So whenever sending the request, directly communicating to application two only, but not application two. For example, here I have app 3. Okay, so app 3 not communicating, directly app 2 only communicating. How it is possible means because of the HTTP methods possible. So HTTP methods, in the form of these methods, we are going to write URL, guys. We are going to be creating URL. Okay, in this URL, what operation you want to do? I want to get the data, or I want to create the data, or I want to update, I want to delete. Everything is available in the URL only, and URL having specific IP address and port number and the specific URL. According to that URL, particular resource only communicating. Particular resource only communicating. Okay, na guys? These all points. All are general terms, guys. General terms. So far, we discussed here in the last session. So before that, types of services we discussed, guys. Okay. So okay, here I'm writing. So types of services, guys. Types of services. So how many services we discussed here? How many services available, guys? Come on, in the chat box, you need to give reply. How many types of services? So two types. One is RESTful based services. Okay, RESTful based services. Second one is SOAP based services. SOAP based services. Yeah. So what is SOAP stands for? SOAP stands for what? SOAP. Simple Object Access Protocol. Simple Object Access Protocol. That is the SOAP standing as. Okay. So next, we discussed the two things. Nowadays, this is not using by people. Only this is using. Why using this one? Means this is using by JSON. I mean, this is using the JSON type data. This is using the JSON data. JSON data. Okay. So that's why JSON having lot of benefit. That's why RESTful based APIs or RESTful based services people are using to developing the APIs. Okay. This is follows the XML data. XML data, guys. XML having some drawbacks. That's why people are not using the SOAP based services to developing the APIs. Okay. So next, about the JSON we discussed, guys, and about the XML. So simply you can consider like a versus JSON versus XML. Okay, both are required for carrying the data. Both are required for carrying the data from one application to another application, exchanging the data, or else transferring the data purpose only we are using, guys. Okay, so remember that. So now in the last session, JSON advantages and XML drawback, these things we discussed, guys. Now JSON rules and regulations I'm going to tell now. JSON, I means coming days, always we are going to use a JSON type data only. First of all, JSON knowledge is must be required. Okay, so JSON stands for, guys, JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. Okay, here J stands for JavaScript and object notation. So which is derived, guys, which is derived from the JavaScript, which is designed, which is derived from JavaScript, which is derived from JavaScript language. So in the front end side we have the JavaScript language, guys. From the JavaScript language only this JSON is designed. Okay, so JSON follows, it follows, guys, it follows curly brace structure, curly brace. Okay, curly brace structure with a key value format data. Okay, within braces with the key value format data we are going to be writing key value format data. Key value format data contains, it follows curly brace structure with the key value format data taking. Okay, so now you can see, guys, so JSON is looks like a Python dictionary, guys. That is also one point, remember easily. We are the Python developers. So JSON is looks like Python. JSON is looks like a Python dictionary type, guys. Python dictionary data type. Dictionary data type. So already we know about the dictionary, guys. We are the Python developers, so we know good knowledge on the dictionary. So same like JSON also we are going to be creating small differences there. We will discuss those things. Okay, na? So here guys, I'm going to take the one dictionary data guys. Dictionary data, dict equal to something I'm going to be taking. So here I'm going to take a employee name guys. Employee name I'm taking. So employee name is Srinivas I'm taking. So employees salary guys. So salary I'm going to be taking 10,000. Okay. So next guys, for example, location you can take it. So location you can take it. Location. So Hyderabad I'm taking. Okay. So 3 fields I taken guys. 3 fields I taken totally. So this is my dictionary. So employee related dictionary, employee dictionary. So you can take if you want employee dictionary. Okay. So this is the dictionary type data guys. Now JSON I want to be creating JSON. So whenever you are going to creating the JSON guys, so can see here these things we are calling what keys. These things we are calling keys. Okay. And the right side values we are calling the values. These all are values. So always dictionary here guys, here in the dictionary keys we can take it within the single quotes or within the double quotes, no problem. Here I taken single quotes guys, no problem. Okay. Here I taken double quotes, no problem. Means in Python dictionary we can take the single quotes or we can take the double quotes like a string value format guys, string value format. Okay na? So now if it is a JSON guys, single quotes not acceptable, single quotes not acceptable. So in the JSON always we need to give what double quotes format only, double quotes format only required. Okay na? So always double quotes guys. And also here for example I have one more key value guys, one more key value I have. For example my key is 1, value is the 10. Okay, is it possible in dictionary? Is it possible in dictionary? One column 10. Okay, so definitely possible. Means my key is here number, my key is here number, so can acceptable. But in JSON guys, but in JSON if you are writing like this then giving error. So in the JSON all keys guys, all keys must be string format only, all keys must be string format only, string format. So and that should be double quotes only. So in Python string means single quotes, double quotes we can write, but in the JSON only double quotes required. In the JSON only double quotes format required guys. Okay na? So even though one you are writing number, that is you need to write like this in the JSON. In the JSON you need to write like this. Okay. So remember that guys. So yeah. So now I'm taking this one. So JSON object, this one is what? JSON object, JSON, or else employee JSON, employee JSON. So here all keys must be double quotes only guys, all keys must be double quotes, and values also double quotes if it is a string, if it is a string. Keys must be any value guys, any value you can take, but must be string format only, string format only. String means double quotes only required. Values based on the value double quotes we can take it. This is the string value, that's why double quotes required. Okay. So next salary is a number, so no need to take the double quotes, and location double quote there, and location value also double quote there. Why means this is the string value. Okay na? So we can take it like this guys, we can take it like this. Just I'm going to be breaking more easily understanding purpose. Yeah. So this is my object guys, e number, e name, salary, location. So here can consider guys, can see here all keys must be within the what double quotes only there, all keys double quotes only there. Values may be different types, values may be different types. Okay na? Yes, please keep mute all people. Pooja Sarkar. Mute your speaker. Yeah. So next guys, here values I'm telling always string format, that should be double quotes. Forget about this one. Okay. Next, now here these things we are going to be discussing. Values. Values. So this is what string value. This is what number value. This is again string value. Okay. So float value also you can take it guys. Salary 10,000.50. Okay. Like float values also we can take it. Float values. And next guys. Here for example I'm going to take numbers. I'm taking as numbers. So this is one key, and array of numbers we can give as array of numbers we can give. Okay, in our Python we are calling this one a list guys. We are calling this structure is a list. Okay, so in the JSON technically we are calling this one array guys. Array we are calling, technically we are calling array. It is also same like Python list only. Okay, so index based taking 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3 index, like that. Okay na? So array of elements we are taking. Next guys, so company information guys. So company information, company information. Okay, I want to take it. So again here company information within the curly brace. Okay, so company information, like I want to create like object format guys. Object format. So object by using the curly brace we are representing, same like this one only. So here also curly brace you are writing. Okay, so company, now I want to write name, company name guys, this one. So company name is for example TCS. Company name is TCS. Okay, so location guys, location is Pune. Okay, this employee belongs to Hyderabad, but this company belongs to Pune. Okay, like you can take it. So location Pune, and address guys, in the Pune address, so address, like you can make it. Okay, just two values I taken, name and location. Okay, so this is what we are calling object guys. This is we are calling object. So totally employee JSON is one employee object guys. In that employee object, key and value, name is Srinivas, salary is 10,000, location Hyderabad, and numbers something else. For example, my mobile numbers, two numbers you can take it. Okay, list of two numbers, array of two numbers. Okay, so company is nothing but this object format we are writing. So nothing but this is nothing but inside the JSON, again JSON format. Okay, nested JSON format is there. So we are calling here technically object guys. Company key and value format we are writing, that is we are calling object. That is we are calling object. Okay, this is we are calling array. This is we are calling array. This is we are calling string. This is number, and float values also you can write. Okay, so like a number of values we can write guys. These types are enough. Most of the times these types we are using. So arrays we are using, and objects we are using, strings we are using, numbers we are using, depending on situation. Okay, so next guys, here next my intention, this is my dictionary data guys, Python dictionary data. Okay, yeah. So guys, if I'm taking here comma, is it wrong or right in the dictionary? Is it wrong or right? Come on, let me know. You are the Python developer, sir. What is Rajesh answer? Krishnakant, Pooja, so many are there here. Sujit saying wrong, huh? Did you tested that one? Where is my ideally? Yes, yeah. So one column 10 I'm taking, two column 20 I'm taking. So this is working, no problem. Okay. the value you are getting. So now I'm going to take a ending value comma. Okay, so are you getting any error? No, means correct. Okay na? So in Python dictionary guys, in Python dictionary, key and value separated by what? Column operator. Key and value separated by column operator. Okay, both key and value pair separated by what? Comma separating. Okay na guys? So key value pairs, this is a key value pair. Again, this is one more key value pair. So every key value pair is separated by comma separating. Last key value pair, if you are taking comma or not also, no problem. Even though you are taking, no problem. Okay, so dictionary allows last key value pair comma, but if it is a JSON, this is JSON guys. So here also key value format is there, key and value separated by column operator, key value pairs separated by what? Comma only, same like dictionary. But last key and value guys, if you are taking comma here, then it gives error. It gives error. This is not a JSON type. If you are taking a ending key value comma, that is the one of the important rule. Okay na? So in the JSON, last key value pair, don't take a comma guys. A comma is not acceptable in the JSON. So coming days we are going to send the data guys to sharing from one application to another application. In that time, if you are giving a comma for the end of the value, then this is not a JSON type, like errors coming. 400 bad request. Bad request means you are not giving correct data, bad data you are giving, like you are getting guys. Okay na? So remember that. And also here, single quotes you are taking e-name, salary, and location double quotes you are taking, means in dictionary single quotes or double quotes we can take it. But in the JSON, always string values should be double quotes only. That is also one rule. Okay. And in the dictionary guys, key places, numbers you can take it, float values you can take it, string values you can take it. But in the JSON, always string values only. Even though you are writing number, string format only we need to write. So there is a major 3 rules, remember guys. Okay na? So after giving your mails guys, then I'll share these all points, rules and regulations, these all examples you're going to get in material guys. You're going to get in material. So then once if you are reading, then you will understanding all theoretically. So enough right now about the JSON, these rules. So later at the time of developing, at the time of sharing the data, more we can discuss. More we can discuss. Okay na? Yes. Next. Yes guys. So here Django REST framework guys. Django REST framework installation. Okay. So now we are going to be discussing the Django REST framework installation. Okay. So guys, if you want to do the Django REST framework installation, okay, so we required one third-party module guys. So before before telling about this one installation and installation process, these all things, so one small application we will do guys. One small application we will do it. Okay, so in that application lot of conversions, one type to another type, how converting data. Okay, so these things we can get it. Otherwise we can install in the Django REST framework. Via the Django REST framework also we can do multiple variations there guys, coding. Okay, so you are writing one way, I'm writing one way, somebody is writing one way, like that. So any way we can follow. Okay, we taken already heading DRF installation, so we will install. In Python guys, how many types of modules there? In Python, how many types of modules there? First of all, what is module? Let me know. What is module? In Python, every .py file we are calling module. Am I right? Every .py file we are calling the module. Demo.py, sample.py, example.py, all are modules only. Okay. So how many types of module there? How many types of module there guys? In Python? Come on, very, very important. We are the Python developers. Without knowing this point, you are not developer, Python developer. Okay, so we have the three types of modules, guys. We have three types of modules. Three types of modules. Okay, so what are those? Means one is predefined or else built-in modules, guys. Predefined module or else built-in module. Okay, next user-defined module, guys. User-defined module. Okay, so user-defined module, predefined modules, user-defined modules, and third one is third-party modules, guys. Third-party modules. Third-party modules. Okay, so these three modules, guys, important. So predefined modules means what? Predefined means whenever we are installing the Python software, guys, whenever we are installing the Python software, along with the Python software, some modules are coming. Okay, so shortcut points I'm writing, guys. In material, you're going to get more clearly. So along with Python software, along with the Python software, some modules, or else the modules which are coming, those modules we are calling the predefined modules. You can write the modules which are coming along with the modules which are coming along with the Python software. Then those modules, guys, then those modules we are calling, then those modules we are calling what? Predefined or built-in modules. Predefined modules are built-in modules. Okay, guys. So when we are installing the Python software, so many methods coming, so many modules coming, so many classes coming. For example, so many functions coming, guys. So print function, are you created or by default coming? Print function by default coming. ID function, guys, by default coming. Okay. So type function. Initially we are using these all things in Python. Range method we are using. Range we are using. Okay. These all are along with software coming. Am I right? Along with Python software coming. So all are built-in functions. Built-in functions we are calling, and we are going to create sometimes our own functions, like by using the def keyword, guys. By using the def keyword, we are going to be creating. Okay, na? So this is user-defined function we are calling. Same like now modules. Some modules are coming along with the Python software. Some modules we are going to be developing. Okay. So here, what modules are coming along with the Python software? What modules are coming along with Python software? For example, math module, guys. Math module, mathematical operations we are performing here. Mathematical operations. OS module is there. Sys module is there. Okay. Python regular expression RE module is there, guys. One chapter we are discussing in the Python regular expression RE module. Okay. And date time, guys. Date time module is there. Calendar module is there. Okay, na? Calendar is there. Like these all are by default with the software coming, guys. Whatever we want, we can use by importing. We can use. Okay, na? So these are the predefined modules we are calling. So using the import keyword, we can import these things and we can use. That is in the Python modules concept. Separate concept is there, Python modules. So there you are getting these three types of modules and how we are importing different types of import there, from import, direct import, star import, all variations clearly required to learn, guys. These all knowledge. So can check it again your Python books for this concept. So okay, next second one is what? User defined modules. Guys, don't think I'm telling Python classes like that. Okay, for our REST API development, this module concept is very, very important. This is my target. Okay, so in our REST API, n number of modules we are going to be installing. At the time of learning Django only, so many modules we are installing. Okay, we are installing some modules. Those modules we are calling third-party modules. Okay, so that's why I'm explaining these all things. Now user defined modules guys. So the modules which are developed by developer, you are the developer guys, for your requirement purpose. You have one task or else you have one requirement. To solve that requirement or else to achieving that requirement, you are developing your own Python file, your own module you are developing. That is we are calling user defined module. As a developer, to performing our particular task, we are developing some modules. Then those modules we are calling user defined module. Okay, so simply developer defined module guys. So as a developer, to perform particular task guys. As a developer to perform particular task, we are developing, okay, or else we are creating guys. So we are developing some modules, then those modules guys, those modules are called, then those modules we are calling what we are calling guys, user defined modules. This is the process guys. So as a developer we are creating guys. At the time of learning Python guys, so many examples you are doing practice. Okay, so what are the examples means, for example, add.py, sum.py, addition.py, subtraction.py, multiplication.py, demo.py, okay, sample.py, example.py, like a number of programs we are doing guys. Okay, so these all things we are calling user defined modules. Okay guys, so my requirement guys here in the user defined module, my task is take the two numbers from the users. Okay, take the two numbers from the user and perform the addition operation. Okay, accept the two inputs from the user and perform the addition operation and give the result. That is my task. Or else take the two numbers from the user and perform the power of both values. For example guys, I'm going to take to the power of okay, my syntax guys, can say to the power of 3. I want to know to the power of 3 guys. Okay, so this meaning is what in mathematical, okay, we are getting like this 2 into 2, 3 times 2 guys. 2 power 3 means 3 times 2 we are multiplying. So 2 into 2 4, 4 into 2 8. So result 8 you are going to get, no problem. Okay, if I'm taking as 9 power 12, so are you able to give answer immediately? 9 into 9 into 9 into like that 12 times. So unable to find, we need to take pen and paper multiple times, we need to do multiplication. Okay, but nowadays so we have the softwares guys, calculator softwares like multiple things, so easily we can performing. So to get this result guys, so our Python is providing one power function. Okay, so power of 9 comma 12 you can take it, then result you are getting guys. Power of any number you can take it guys, 15 comma 23. Okay, so 23 times 15 into 15 into 15 calculating, and result is going to give. Okay, so simply we are going to get the result guys. So I want to do this, I want to take two numbers, I want to performing the power value guys. Okay, so for that what you are doing, so one input, one program I'm going to be writing guys. So number one, n1 is nothing but number one. Okay, so I want to take the data guys. So input of so enter first number guys. This is my program. So input method by default taking in the form of string, that's why I'm converting into int type casting guys. Integer type I'm converting. So next n2 value I'm taking. Okay, n1 and n2 both I taken guys. n1 and n2 I taken. So next, what I need to do? So I need to find the power value of n1 comma n2. Okay. So guys, this is a power dot py. Okay. Find the power of two values. Purpose, I'm writing this as this program. So this is my own module, guys. Power.py, my own Python file. In this file, I'm performing the two numbers. I'm going to find the two numbers power value. Okay. So yes, I taken two inputs from the user. Next, to find the power of both values, some logics we need to write. Otherwise, some ready-made methods there, guys. Okay, from the ready-made modules. So here we have the modules, guys. Predefined modules. These predefined modules, whatever you want, guys. Those modules we can import into our power.py. In our user-defined modules, whenever we are developing our user-defined module related coding, if you want any predefined module, then we can import, guys, by using the import keyword. Okay, so right now here using the import keyword, one math module I imported, guys. Import math. Okay, so from the predefined modules available in Python software location, guys. Wherever the Python software you are installing, there available predefined module. So for example, in our C drive, Python software is there. From the C drive to our user defined module location, you are importing the predefined module. Okay, later after importing, I can use this module. Okay, so some x equal to, guys, some x equal to math, this module dot, we have the power function here. Okay, so power of n1 comma n2. So user can enter any value, guys. So here taking power method n1 comma n2. Okay, so now going to get the result here. That result is assigning to x variable, that is I'm going to be print. Okay, so here the message I'm going to be printing the power of x and y is result, guys. The power of x and y is sorry, this is what n1. The power of n1 and n2 is x, guys. Okay, so this n1 and n2 value also, if you want to display, then you can take it. So so now you can take it. So the power of n1 value dynamically coming here and the n2 value coming dynamically is x value coming dynamically. Okay, so this is the program, guys, to take the inputs from the user and finding the power value and printing that power value. Okay, so here this is my user defined module coding, but predefined module I used here. Okay, okay, next, guys, next third party module there. Last one is what? This is very, very important real time development. Third party modules. Third party modules, guys. So predefined modules means along with the Python software coming. User defined modules means as a developer you are creating, guys. You are creating. Okay. So third party modules means you are not developing. For example, myself, I'm not developing. Okay. This is I'm developing power.py, user defined module. I'm not developing any module. Okay. And along with the software also not coming, but some other people like you, some other people, they developed okay their own modules, and they are maintaining these modules in the web location, in the internet location, guys. Okay, later whenever I required any module, those modules I need to download and installing, and then I can use that module. Okay, so these things we are calling the third party modules, guys. Some other third party person developing, okay, some other third party person developing some modules, and they are maintaining the web location, and whatever the modules we require, we are downloading and installing. Okay, so here some other developers creating or else created some modules, some other developers created some modules, and they are maintaining and they are maintained in the web locations, guys. they are maintained in the web locations, nothing but in internet, guys. Okay, they are maintaining the web locations. So later, if you want, okay, if you want, or else you can take, if we want any third party module, guys. Okay, these modules we are calling the third party modules, guys. Okay, if we want any third party module, if you want any third party module, then we need to download it from web location. We need to download from web location, guys. That is the process. Okay, so how downloading? Then we need to download it from web location by using pip command. By using the pip command, this is the command, guys. Pip command. Using this we can download. So open your command prompt, for example. So you are going to installing like this, pip install a required module name, guys. A required module name, whatever you want you can install module names, third party module names. So in web location, hundreds of third party modules there, guys. When we are developing the real time application, so predefined modules we are using in our user defined module code, and also third party modules also we are using in our user defined module code. Okay, so that is the process. Can see here one small structure I'm going to tell you. At the time of learning Django, guys, these all points you are getting at the time of learning Django only. So pip install Django, how we are installing like this, pip install Django latest version coming. If you want any specific version, so 2.0.5, 1.9, 1.1, 3.1, like whatever the version you want you can use. Django double equal to version number without any space here, without any space. Some people are taking like this, guys. Sir, I entered correct syntax only, but I'm not getting I'm unable to installing the module like they are telling. So that is not correct. Like this, correct. Okay, na? So already in Django you done, guys, these all things. So there only you are getting this knowledge. Now this is the REST API. Okay, in Python only you are getting this all knowledge. So the people who forgetting in Python, then in Django you are getting again, and now in the REST API also you are getting same knowledge. Don't forget this one. Okay, now guys, here I have my user defined programming here, user defined modules. So user defined module I'm developing in the D drive, guys. Okay, so in the D drive I'm developing, in the D drive I'm developing. Okay, so now here whatever the module you want you can import, guys. So for example here predefined module there, predefined module is there. So predefined module available in the C drive, guys. Predefined module available in the C drive, guys. Okay, so for example math module, ys module, sys module. Okay, like a n number of modules we have, guys. So in the C drive predefined modules there, what we are calling ys module, math module, re module, like blah blah blah. These all are predefined module. So understanding purpose you can take it predefined module. Okay, so guys, whenever you want any predefined module, so from here to here you are going to be importing, here to here you are going to be importing by using the import keyword, or else from importer PO or import math module you are importing. Okay, so for example n1 you have, guys, data n1 you have, comma n2 you have just assumption. So you are going to take these two numbers from the users. Okay, next x equal to same program already we done. So power of now here n1 comma n2 you are taking like this. Then that value you are going to be printing as wherever you want you can print x value you are printing. Okay, so like you can use, guys, a predefined module you're going to get into the user defined module location. So this is my user defined module, guys. User defined module. Okay, next third party modules available in the web location, guys. Third party modules available in the web location. These are the third party modules. Simply I'm writing here. So okay, third party modules. So n number of third party modules there, guys. So Django is one third party module. So PyMySQL is one third party module. So next Pillow is one third party module. PyMongo is one third party module. Okay. So like so many are there, guys. So many are there. For example, request is one third party module. Like so many are there. Okay, these all are modules. And each module having different version. Django 1.9, 1.11, 2.0, 2.2, 2.1, 3.1, like multiple modules there here. Again, subversions. So I want to use this Django module, guys. I want to use this Django in my user defined programming. In my user defined module, I want to use this Django and I want to create one project here. I want to create one project, guys, demo project I want to create. If you want to create a demo project, first of all, this is required, Django module required. Okay, Django module is required. How we are getting this one means you are going to be installing this command, guys. Pip install Django. This pip command is responsible to get this one, guys. Pip command using the internet, guys, communicating to this web location. Pip command communicating to this web location, searching for required module, okay, with the requested version, guys. Searching for required module with the requested version. Okay, finding the requested module, guys. Finding the requested module. After finding, then downloading. After downloading and installing also, guys. After installing, where it is available means in the C drive location, Python software location only available. Okay, so now here Django is there. Same like you are going to be installing PyMySQL to communicate with the MySQL database, guys. Okay, to work with images Pillow module, like all third party modules we are installing, guys, using the pip. Okay, now third party modules also available in the Python software location, I think, but in the predefined modules location available. Later, whatever the module you want, guys, for example, Python to MySQL database, when you are doing communication, guys, so in your Python file, you are going to be importing this PyMySQL module. Import PyMySQL. Later, database connections you are creating. Am I right? So that is the way, guys. Import PyMySQL. Okay. So third party modules using the pip command. First of all, you are downloading and installing, and those modules are now available in the Python software location. Later onwards, using the import keyword, we can import into our user defined module program, and we can work with the third party module. We can work with this third party module. So I can work with this PyMySQL. I will communicate with MySQL DB. Come on, guys. All of you understanding the structure? Three types of modules are. Okay. So always we are working here, guys. Always we are working here. Here we are working. So when we are developing our coding, guys, sometimes we require a predefined module like this we can import. Sometimes we require third party module like this we are going to be importing. So if you want to importing first of all this third party module, you need to be downloading this one. If you want to downloading this one, first of all you need to execute this command. Got it? So this is all Python developer basic role, guys. Basic common sense required to remember. So how many modules there? Can you explain about the modules, or else how do you get the user defined? How do you get the third party module into your user defined development? People may ask any question. You need to explain this total structure. Then other person, interview person, will satisfied very well. Okay, how we are going to use predefined module into your user defined development. Okay, using the import keyword, from keyword. Okay, now you are importing here, guys, this one import math you are importing. So in the math module, guys, n number of methods there, math.1, math.2, math.3, math.4, like multiple methods there, guys. Okay, so because of this import all methods coming, but you are using what method? Only power method you are using. Power method. Remaining all methods wasting na? Importing is wasting. Memory is wasting, guys. Memory is wasting. Performance is decreasing because of this. So in math module, for example, 20 methods there. Because of this import math, 20 methods loading here. 20 methods loading. Out of 20, how many you are using here right now? Only one you are using. Remaining 90 methods importing is waste. Okay, now? So to overcome this problem, what we are using? To overcome this problem, what we are using? From import we are using. From import. Okay, na? So from import, how we are writing means, for example, from module name, math, import, your power function you can use. Means from this math module here 20 there guys, 20 methods there. From this 20 methods, I'm importing only one method, power method. Okay, so that is the way. Next, whenever you are importing this one guys, in this line, no need to use this math. Just power of n1 comma n2, like you can use. Okay, coding also looking beauty. Instead of writing every time math dot power, simply power of like that you can write down. Okay, so like so many there guys, this is the direct import we are calling direct import. Okay, this is the from import we are calling required from module import required property. We can also do this one guys, from math import star. So what is the difference between this one, first one? What is the difference between this first one and this one guys? So import math means all properties, 20 properties you are getting. From math import to star means here also 20 property you are getting. So in the first line here also 20 you are getting, and here also 20 you are getting. Then what is the use of this one? What is the use of this one? Okay, so if you are importing first one guys, math dot like that every time you need to write. Here no need to write math dot. Okay, import math from math import all properties. Then directly property name you can use power of, square root of, okay, sum of, like all properties directly you can use instead of using the math. Okay, so that's why first priority gives to this one guys, second priority gives to this one, and the least priority gives to this one. Real time development. Okay, so people can expecting as anything. If I'm using this one what, if I'm using that one what, like that. So you need to tell these all points. Okay, na? So right now you are getting as so how third party modules we are installing. So Django REST framework guys, Django REST framework is also a third party module. Python is a software you are downloading and you are installing by clicking next like that. But Django is a third party module you are installing like this guys. Okay, and REST API also Django REST framework module is there guys here. So Django REST framework without any space, single word guys. Django REST framework is our module. So you are going to be installing this module guys. Okay, na? You are going to be installing this module. After installing, okay, one predefined application you are going to get guys. For the Django REST framework related, one predefined application is there, which name is REST underscore framework. Okay, this is one predefined application guys, REST underscore framework. So after installing this module, this is a REST API related predefined application. In this application, all REST API related predefined modules, classes, methods, all are available guys. Okay, so I told Django REST framework is providing so many ready-made modules or methods or classes. Because of these all ready-made modules or classes or methods, our Django REST framework is getting more demanding nowadays. Why means we are not writing lines of code. Ready-madely we are getting. We are not writing more lines. We are going to write less lines because of this ready-made concepts. Okay, so this Django REST framework related all ready-made concepts are available in the REST underscore framework application. Okay, yeah. So okay guys, remember so far this one for this day. So in the next session guys, so this is in class only how installing I'll show you, and later this is the application. This application we are going to add in somewhere. Okay, where we are adding this application, and this application related ready-made concepts, how we are importing into our coding and how we are developing, like that we will develop tomorrow directly program. One program we will develop guys directly. Okay, so thank you guys, and I'm telling guys again, so you need to make it your registration, and I'll take your mails and I'll forward the material. So okay, Pooja and Lakshmi, I'll share you so far what we discussing material. I will share you both. So remaining people, I don't know people still doing registration or not. So as soon as possible, remaining people can communicate with the online team and do the payment, guys. Okay, registration. Then I'm getting the permission to share the material. Okay, na? So tomorrow onwards, guys, I think tomorrow maybe link changing. Okay, you can contact to online team. See, GB Naik, you are asking about the access for course. So did you done your registration? You can contact to online team. They will give you. Okay, sir. So directly you can call to online team and they will give you access. They will give you access. All these videos you can access. Okay, and material I will share you. I'll take your mail from the office team, or else you can type here in the chat box. You can type it in the chat box. You can type it your mail. So I have Lakshmi mail and Pooja Sarkar mail. Pooja Sarkar, you can also share here for the better purpose. Already I have your mail. Yeah, firstly you can share all people, no problem. All this basic material I will share. Yeah, Rajesh given. Pooja. Sujit. Prakash. Can you share your email here? Come on, guys. Otherwise, I'll close session. I have the other session at 8 a.m. Already it's all 8:10. And check it your mail clearly there or not. Any spelling mistake is there? I'm not responsible later. Okay. I think all completing. Puja is not given still. Puja, what about your mail? Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
So, sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Sujit, sir. I have shared my mail ID. Yeah. Now I got it. Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir. I taken here.
No, just now I was saying, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.